Right. Look. Look.
See?
Up, 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 up.
See?
Corrige.
See?
Corrige. No sabes, stay. Wait. Your friend?
See? See or no? See? It's led right. And look, Michelle, acá.
Sí, yeah, Michelle.
Sí, sí.
Michelle y... ¿Cómo?
Michelle is izquierda, izquierda, izquierda. Michelle, izquierda is azul.
Michelle.
Sí.
Sí, your friend?
Mark.
Mark. Look.
Yeah.
It's not. A thermica.
Sí.
Go.
When I left Manizales and I was heading to Talua, once I got to Talua, I noticed that I had quite the oil leak. But the bike wasn't actually leaking oil, all the oil was coming out of the gas. So I needed to stop in Cali before I headed to Ecuador. And about a year ago, I was flying paramotors in Cartagena, which is up north on the beach. And I met a wonderful guy named Michel from Canada. He invited me, he said, if you're ever in Canada, hey, you got a place to stay. And sure enough, I called Michel up and here we are in his beautiful home overlooking Lake Calima. It gets better though, because on Saturday, which is just a few days from now, we have some friends coming in from the United States and Canada. And for the next week, we're just going to be flying paragliders and put the motors away for a little bit. And Michel, I got you something.
Wow. All right. Oh, look at this. That is awesome.
You have to show it.
All right. Awesome. Does this mean I'm officially part of the club?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Nice. This is awesome. And my favorite color too, clearly. So,
change a dog for a cat.
right? This is our buddy Caballo, which stands for horse. Because he's such a small boy.
Yeah, he's huge.
So, yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Chris.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for letting me stay here.
Listen, that's the easy part, and it's awesome. In fact, I never want you to leave. You're such a gem to hang out with and to talk with. You've got such a wide, vast level of interests and knowledge. Yeah, it's just awesome.
Thanks. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Know you better. Yeah.
Thanks. All right, so from here, we're just going to hang out at Lake Calima, and then tomorrow morning, we're going to go paragliding. So I wanted to go paragliding with some buddies from the States that had come in, and you can see the amount of pilots that are here. I'm at a paragliding mecca. It's Piedechinche. It's in the southern portion of Colombia. APCO found out that I wanted to fly, and they decided that they would send me a brand new wing just so I can fly this week with some friends. I'm telling you, this company has been amazing for me. Not only do they provide me an awesome wing to fly a motor with, but because I'm going to be free flying, they decided to send me a brand new Vista 6. And I'm not a paraglider, so I just asked for a V wing, so I'm not sure exactly how hot this is. I asked for a mid-V wing. I know they have a couple. They have a Nestra and a Vista, so I voted for the mid-V rather than the hot V. But how cool of a company is that they would send you a wing just so you could fly for a week. APCO has been amazing to me. So if you are in the wing market and you're looking for another wing, I would definitely put APCO on your list for wings to try. Not only have they provided me an absolutely perfect wing for my adventure with motors, but just to be able to fly a paragliding wing for a week. So huge thank you to Stacy Whitmore and APCO for sending this out to me just so I could fly paragliders for a week. I mean, how cool is that? How many companies would just, here, take our wing and fly for a week? Just, you know, APCO has been amazing for me. So thanks, APCO, and I'm gonna go get in the air. ¿Es bueno? Go?
I'd like to preface this by saying that I'm not a paragliding pilot. This was a unique experience for me, something I'd always wanted to try but never really had the opportunity. I have many years underneath a paramotor wing, but I have very few hours under a paragliding wing. And one of the first things I noticed was that the wings are very different, and the way you fly these wings is also very different. Paramotor pilots tend to get lazy. If you want to go right or left, you just kind of pull the right or left handle or brake. But on a paraglider, leaning is really, really important. Also, on a paramotor, you're in a constant state of losing altitude. If you want to gain altitude, it's merely grab the throttle and add more gas. Paragliding, however, requires a lot more thought process. You're using the thermals of the air to go up or down, and finding those thermals and staying in them is a constant chess battle. Now, I hadn't been given a whole lot of instruction on how to catch thermals, but I think I learned fairly quickly. I'll explain a little bit of that later. For now, let me just say that this was such a wonderful experience and something that I would absolutely love to spend more time doing. This is a thinking man's game. This is a sport where if you're not constantly thinking and constantly in control, things can get out of hand fairly quickly. And I kind of liked that. This experience was unbelievably wonderful, exciting, and refreshing all at the same time. The advice Mauricio gave me on the ground was pretty simple. He said that if the Vario was beeping quickly, then turn faster. If the Vario was beeping more slowly, then turn a little slower. I don't know if this was good advice or not, but Mauricio knows how to fly a lot better than I do on these things, so I listened to him. And I found a group of people in front of me that had found a thermal and were circling around it. So I thought I would join them. I wasn't sure how to join them, so I just kind of ran into the middle of them and started circling like they did. And as my Vario went louder and faster, I turned harder and harder. And I trusted the wing. And within just a few turns, I noticed that I was climbing at a much faster rate than they were. And soon, I wasn't just a little higher than them, I was a lot higher than them. Now, I didn't really know what I was doing, and I'm sure a lot of this is beginner's luck, but I think more of this had to do with the wing. I was very impressed on how stable this wing was and how much lift I would get on it. Before too long, I was at an altitude that's higher than the mountain, and I was quite a bit higher than the group that I had entered earlier. At this point, I wasn't actually sure what I should do or where I should go. So I just decided to head out into the valley and look for the landing field and try to play with the wing a little bit. And what I learned was flying this wing is a lot harder than I thought. One of the first things I noticed is that launching and landing a paragliding wing was a lot easier than on a paramotor. However, once you're in the air, everything changes. I felt like the brakes were a lot deeper on a paragliding wing, and you had to pull a lot harder in order to get the wing to react to you. Secondarily, it's been a long time since I've flown a wing without 2D steering. I found myself pushing out on the wing so often, thinking I would engage the brakes and nothing would happen. It took me a while to realize that what I was doing was so ingrained in my brain with 2D steering that I had to rethink flying a wing. It was also unique to have my body react to the wing and vice versa. I noticed it was kind of like riding in a rowboat or a canoe versus a motorboat. The little shifts I had in weight had a lot of effect on the wing, and the wing had a lot of effect on the way my body sat. It was an interesting feeling. Ultimately, you're having to think all the time, and you're having to feel what the wing is doing at any given time. All in all, I had an absolute pleasure learning paragliding. And I can tell you the wing was absolutely perfect for me. I can't give you a review on the wing because I don't know that very much about paragliding wings in general, but I can tell you that the wing that APCO sent me was absolutely perfect. It had amazing lift. It reacted the way it should. I felt very safe in the air. And for the week I flew it, it was the absolute perfect wing for me. One of the coolest things about flying a paraglider was how quiet it was. When you fly a motor, you constantly have the thumping of the engine behind you, and it was nice just to enjoy the quiet in the sound of the air. Except for the constant beeping of the Vario, and so for a few flights this week, I actually turned the Vario off just so I could enjoy the peacefulness of the moment. Look at that, I even caught the selfie stick. How cool is that? Hola. ¿Cómo está? Bien. Bien? Por favor. Gracias, gracias.
Dale.
Es cámara. ¿Cómo se llama?
Dominic.
Dominic?
Ujú.
Ah, mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto. Yo
¿Qué más,
número-
amigo?
Hola.
¿Cómo está? ¿Te ayudo a empacar?
Por favor, gracias, gracias. Un momento.
Dale. ¿Cómo estás, amigo? ¿Bien?
Oh, muy bien, es tranquilo.
Ah.
Velo.
Sí, muy tranquilo.
Sí.
Ok, vamos.
Sí. Gracias, Dominic. Gracias. Yeah, that was a cool flight. I have to give a quick shout out to Stefan Radisic, John Ripa, Stacy Whitmore, and Mark Murphy, because without those guys, none of this would have happened. And I cannot say enough, the experience at Piedechinche was unbelievably wonderful for me. and I could have stayed there for quite a long time. But I have other adventures I need to attend to. But before I did that, I needed to go back to Cali to check on the motorcycle.
Well, I had to stop in Cali to get the motorcycle fixed, but it actually worked out because I got into paragliding and I got to try out that sport, and wow, what an experience. What a great experience. But the motorcycle needed a little bit more work than I thought. In fact, here it is now. So as you can see, there's no motor. It's because I need to get a piston replaced. I also needed rings, and they have to do something to the cylinder. A lot of work. There was multiple things that I wanted checked before I headed to Ecuador, because I didn't want to chance the motor and keep going through oil and get broken down somewhere. So anyway, not the typical shop in Colombia for a motorcycle shop, and that's because here they only work on larger bikes and high-end bikes. So I'm glad I stopped here. Unfortunately, it's been 2 weeks now that they've had the motorcycle, but they say it will be done tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning we'll be able to get on the road and start the travel and the adventure again.